Hey folks, rinimt here, and welcome back to Cooking Companions. Everything's peachy keen, happy, nothing weird has happened. Yeah, thank you Serenity Forge for the code. We've got Gregor though. Wake up! Sorry, you were making strange noises in your sleep. What's going on, Gregor? Did the lightning wake you up? It woke me up. Try to fall back asleep, but it's so loud. Let's just get back to sleep and talk about this in the morning. Everyone nods in agreement and gets back to bed. Except for you. You can't fall back asleep. You still have goosebumps from the nightmare. Karen's snoring is making the walls shake. You don't sleep a wink. Open your eyes when you hear Anatoly slamming the door. He sounds petrified. I looked at the door and we're completely surrounded by floodwaters. Looks like sailors take warning was more appropriate for today. Maybe they'll clear up tomorrow? You're no optimist, Karen. Yeah, that's all Gregor has going for him. He's also good at chopping wood, though. Knock it off, you two. Mariah, do you think he'll clear up tomorrow? I give it a 27% chance. Based on what? I was sports div, so I read a book on local precipitation levels. And Natalie, you're a book nerd, right? Why didn't you read it earlier? Couldn't make it past the cover. Is that right? Yes. My bookshelf has some great books of artisan crafting and natural sciences. Why let them sit there gathering dust? I'd arrive at a 27% chance of it clearing up tomorrow. It's easy. Take the time of year, multiply by a factor of... Mariah begins to display meteorology to you. She isn't dumbing any of this down. It's similar to where... So the first thing you need to understand... Minutes of explanation feel like hours. We look over at Natalie. He's listening intently to Mariah. So intently he hasn't blinked yet. You can see his eyes drying up. A tear rolls down one of his cheeks. This is brutal to watch. Mariah finally wraps up her lecture, ending with a bow. Nobody claps. Tough crowd. Mariah, that was awe-inspiring. You lost me a few minutes in, but it's okay. I didn't understand a word of it. Yeah. Natalie turns to you. There's no telling how long this will last. We can't leave the cabin until these floodwaters stop. The Nora food situation is a little tight, but you'll make the right decisions. Oh, excuse me. I believe in you. Me too. Looks like we have enough leftover berries for more bread and raspberry jam. Oh, pass on the jam. Just give me more crusty bread. Everyone laughs. Except for you. If everyone's stranded in the cabin, you need to keep everyone fed and happy. You sneak out to the kitchen while everyone's still talking. You get some crusty bread and start working on making some more jam. With the kitchen to yourself, you decided to check in on the chompettes. Oh boy. Do I remember their voices?
Hello!
Hello! Don't worry, just leave the chompettes. I'll make sure none of the humans know about us.
Onion!
Well, that big guy would try to eat me like an apple, so definitely don't tell him about us. Are your plans going awry? Got another cornbread classic for you. Did you hear about the bread maker's bakery burning down? No? Her business is now toast. That one's a little stale. Do you know how raspberry and milk were introduced? You told her no.
Raspberry!
Raspberry milkshake! You let an audible groan. Did cornbread teach you that one? Nope. Wasted an entire day on it. It was well worth the time and effort, Raspberry. Maybe you'll win the annual Chompet comedy competition this year?
Raspberry!
Of course!
Onion!
Not while I'm here. I won't choke on stage this year. Isn't that every year, Bread? We still talk about that closing joke, Bread. You're gonna do great this year. Anyway, don't even think of eating us if you're hungry. Chomp that stick together through thick and thin.
Raspberry!
Rain or shine. Feast and famine. Potato, I swear to God, repeat the line and we're locking you up again. Life or death. That's right. Jump it! Move out! Move out! The Chompets somehow managed to close the drawer on themselves. You bring the crusty bread and jam into the living room. Karen stops you as you bring in the food. Took you long enough. Karen looks at the 2 slices of bread left in the mason jar of raspberry jam. There's a mold on these last 2 slices of bread. Karen is right. What the hell is the matter with you? You grip the knife tightly in your hand. You think this is enough for 5 of us?
Ooh, wait, we can't just throw this bread away. It's all we have left.
Krieger's right. Natalie, will mold spores give us food poisoning?
No, scientists. Sorry.
Let's pick off as much mold as we can. We can't leave the food with the flood water, so this will have to last us another day. Everyone grimly nods, ripping the bread apart like a pack of wolves. Gregor eats the biggest chunks of mold. Disgusting. Thanks again. Bread and jam isn't much of a meal, but it's more than we had in Ukraine. Plenty of rainwater outside, so at least we won't die of dehydration. But until the storm is over, we shouldn't leave the cabin. Should clear up if we just give it some time. Natalie, what makes you think that?
One of the books had weather reports?
You're illiterate, so that's a lie.
Karen, I've seen him reading.
Who reads upside down?
What do you think?
Making me pick here. Karen's right.
Good.
And you're funny. Keep playing pretend, Natalie. Brutal, Karen. I found an old picture book in the living room, Natalie. Might be something more your speed.
Karen!
Karen smiles at you. I guess let's call it a day. Yeah, sure. Everyone shuffles off to their sleeping areas. 6 minutes later... I'm glad you caught on Natalie's bluff. You continue to impress. It's a shame Natalie's sleeping in the same bedroom. Should have never shared it with him. What if it was just me and you? I'm sure we could study and squeeze a few novels in before bed. You nod. Well, we'll have to kick him out at some point, right? Oh, you'll have to tell me about that. And an anatomization book in the bedroom. Really cool pictures in there. Karen looks like she has a crush on you. Oh, let me know if you're ever free for a lesson. Okay. Karen walks away looking very happy. You are definitely sure Karen will remember that. Relationship is stronger. You go to sleep very hungry. You don't dream the entire night, but you sleep through everyone waking up. And that's how fast the deer could run if startled.
Whoa.
Incredible. Impressive. Oh. I wish we had a deer here. With the food getting lower, let's just skip today's meal.
No.
It's only for one day. Various cultures and religions have practiced fasting throughout history. That doesn't make us feel any better, Natalie. What options do we have? Our food wasn't rationed properly. Natalie leaves, mumbling to himself. So passive-aggressive of him. Everyone moves to a separate area. Karen in the bedroom, Gregor in the living room, Mariah in the kitchen, and Natalie in the bathroom. What do you want to speak to? Let's speak with Mariah. Oh! Didn't hear you coming! I was just double checking if there was any food we might have missed. But I couldn't get this drawer open. Could you give it a try? You nod. Great! Will you do that? I'm gonna get some more reading done. You think Mariah will remember that? Later. You pull open the drawer with all your might.
Hello!
Is the thunderstorm keeping you up at night? You just need to roll with it. Raspberry whispers so quietly you lean over to listen to her. We need to talk soon. Please listen to me when the time comes. Anyways,
Raspberry!
please don't let the others see us.
Cabbage!
That's right, Raspberry. Part of being a trumpet is secrecy. When I want those humans over here at meetings now, would we? You shake your head. Good. Trumpets! Roll on out! You shut the drawer. Everyone looks pretty down this evening. It won't stop. You're all doing great, just a little longer. I'm so hungry. Me too. You wish everyone a good night and get ready for bed. Your stomach is growling more. Wake up! I said, wake up! The rainfall is non-stop again. Did you have anything to do with this? You don't answer her question. Always thinking with your stomach, right? You should reconsider. Might save what little humanity you have left. At least I tried. I won't let this weigh on my conscience. Go back to sleep, monster. You quickly forget about Raspberry's conversation. You have a strange dream. A boy is yelling at you in the kitchen. You keep telling him to lie down on the tray, but he keeps screaming at you, calling you names. So you show him how it's done. You lie down on the tray and make your body as flat as a board. A smile crawls across his face. His anger turns to courage, and he pushes you into the oven. As the stench of burning hair fills your lungs, you see him sneering back at you. You wake in a cold sweat. Everyone seems to be sleeping in later than normal. Their stomachs must have kept them awake all night. The rain is still pouring outside. You can barely make out the trees from the windows. You hear Mariah getting up. She looks petrified. I couldn't sleep. Natalie has bags under his eyes. The storm is too loud. Karen looks out of it. The cabin was creaking so much last night. It sounded alive. Gregor looks a little gaunt. I got a good look out the window. And all I saw was rain. Great observations, Gregor. I was so hungry last night. Kept pacing around the bedroom. Karen turns to you. When is this going to end? I checked outside the door again. Floodwaters keep rising.
Fortunately, we're gonna need to stay put unless one of us wants to drown in rainwater. Once the weather improves, we'll be able to scavenge for supplies.
How close is the nearest town?
I don't know.
Didn't you have a map on you?
I think I dropped it while we were running after Grigor. I'm sure they'll show up eventually.
Mariah, Anthony, and Natalie go white as a sheet. How are we gonna find our way back now? We'll have to ride out the storm. Mariah looks at you. We're down to our last slice of bread. I don't know how much longer we can put off eating. Group stares at you.
It will clear up in no time.
Maybe you're right. The group looks worried. They all gravitate to different areas. Grigor's fake optimism is worrying, and Mariah's having trouble. Which one do you want to speak with today? To go with Mariah again. It's cold as hell over here! So as Grigor isn't freezing to death at night. How does he do it? Explain to Mariah how the size of the person and fat content contributes to their temperature. Yeah! Well, show's as big as Grigor. But to be honest, I'm happy with brains over brawn. Do you know what he wanted to do for a career? Mariah does her best Grigor impression. Cut trees and sleep under stars! How boring is that? Depends on the person, but pretty boring. You're so funny. Thanks for coming in and chatting with me. Mariah blushes a little. You make it easier to pass the time. Thank you. You're pretty sure Mariah will remember that. Relationship is stronger. You thank Mariah and get the others. Call everyone together, they all look nervous. You could cut the tension in the room with a knife. Everyone is staring at you. They're expecting that last piece of bread for dinner. Or bring it out. Everyone cannot take their eyes off it. Instruct everyone to take a pinch. And slowly all 5 of you tear it apart like a wishbone. Everyone serves their piece of bread carefully, wondering how long it will last. Karen is the first to eat hers, chewing each bite a few hundred times before swallowing. And Natalie chews it cautiously, slowly swallowing as he looks at the others. Ryan nibbles on it silently, eyes wide, moving from person to person. Grigor? Grigor just pops in his mouth like a cherry. He inhaled it. The group thanks you awkwardly. It's not much, but you've run out of options. You wish everyone good night and get ready for bed. Go to bed starving.
Good morning.
Morning.
Let me check if the rain has stopped. It's still flooding.
What are we gonna do?
Humans can live about 2 to 3 weeks without food. Water isn't a concern. Rainfall should end in a day or two, right?
Actually, precipitation can occur more than 215 days a year here. But do you really think it will rain that long? And Natalie, it's been days already. What makes you think it will stop soon?
Relax, everyone. Let's see how long we can ride this out. Fingers crossed it's done by tomorrow.
Panic is slowly creeping in. Everyone's looking scared, but you need to survive. Karen and Grigor begin to discuss our next options. You want to speak with Mariah in the kitchen? Or Natalie in the living room? Thinks about everything you've done wrong and how you've doomed everyone. Let's speak with Mariah. Hey. Mariah looks relieved to see you. It's far too happy of a noise for right now. How are you holding up? Better question, how are you holding up? Not very good. That's very sweet of you to ask. Mariah's looking at you intently. She gets a little closer to you. I noticed you didn't use any meat when cooking. You usually have to pick it out of the foods the others make. But you respected that. Thank you. Mariah's looking at you with admiration. I need to speak with Grigor for a minute, but thanks again. You're definitely sure Mariah will remember that. You decided to check out the drawer again. You ask Potato where the others are.
They'll be back. They want to explore the labyrinth of tunnels around the cabin. Surely, you've seen the mouse holes, right? They connect all over the cabin. Must have been some mouse that created them, or something worse. Anyways, I'm not gonna sugarcoat this. Things are gonna get worse from here on out.
You have a feeling Potato is telling the truth. You realize some drool is leaking out of your mouth.
Disgusting. Don't even try to eat me. You just get deathly sick if you try. And from the look of you need to retain all the water you can. From rationing to cooking, you failed every common sense measure for basic survival this week. You knew something like this would happen, right? Never mind. With waters rising and no food now, I think it'd be a great time to go over the fundamentals of starvation with you. When experiencing starvation, there are 4 factors that will determine if you live or die. Age, height, weight, and your degree of activity or inactivity. You've been especially lazy, so I think you'll survive a little longer than the others. The Harris-Benedict equation can help you figure out how many calories you need to simply maintain your current weight. The equation produces a number called the basal metabolic rate, or BMR. Stay with me here. BMR equals 655 plus 4.35 times weight in pounds plus 4.7 times height in inches minus 4.7 age in years. Got it? For fun, let's try that on someone here. Mariah. Using Harris-Benedict, she looks like she's 120 pounds. About 5 foot 5, about 20 years old. Crunching the numbers. I think she needs about 1,388 calories daily. That's being abnormally stationary. She'd have to lay in bed all day and night, just eating, breathing, and using her brain. Not very common when you're starving to death. People tend to get up more. She was being very active, let's say, swimming through floodwaters. We need to multiply that by that 1,388 calories by 1.9. So now she needs 2,638 calories per day. That's quite a difference, especially if you didn't ration food properly. Which she didn't. Guess that wraps up our first survival lesson. Hopefully, we'll never have to speak again. Okay. Shut the drawer, going over the numbers again. I don't think any of us can take this much longer. Grigor's voice starts to crack. I don't want to ask this, but it's time. One of us needs to go outside and search for food. Everyone is silent. I'll go. Mariah! I used to swim all the time near my house. I probably have the best chance of swimming through the floodwaters. No! Let me go instead. You won't get very far if anything happens to your glasses and Natalie. You're blind as a mole rat, remember? That's true, but... Little guy, let me go. Grigor, Sounds good to me. Karin! His arms are the longest. He's probably the best at climbing. No, that wouldn't be right, Grigor. Let me go instead. Again, none of these options are good ones. We need to find food or help. Grigor grabs a branch from the woodpile. He cuts into different measurements. Since we can't come to a consensus, let's draw for it. We each pick one. And the shortest will go outside to search for food.
You're not worried about drawing. You saw Grigor cut the branch lengths. You picked the biggest. Watch the others intently. Will it be Grigor? Anatoly? Karen? Will it be... Looks like I've got the shortest. Mariah. Mariah. It's... okay. I watched Serenity Forge earlier, so I'll know what to look out for.
Just swim until you find higher ground and scout the area.
Maybe you'll find fish out there. Everyone looks heartbroken. Karen, Anatoly, Grigor, I'll keep us alive. I promise. She promised. Everyone watches as Mariah leaves the cabin. The silence is deafening. Goodbye. The door shuts behind her. You can faintly hear her yell about how cold the water is, and then silence. Mariah has left the cabin. I'm sure we'll see her again. The rest of the group nods. Everyone stays up waiting and waiting. The sun is completely set. One by one, each person quietly shuffles off to bed. You have a strange dream. The two women in front of you could be twins. One of them you recognize, the other is a cabin guest. You ask the guest to sit on the shovel, and you try pushing it into the oven. Her legs are so strong, you can't get her into the oven. You curse at her repeatedly. Like this, you hiss. You stretch out your legs until your toes are almost sticking in the coals. You feel 4 hands on your shoulders, and then both of them push you in. The familiar smell of smoke and burning hair causes you to throw up on the embers. You can't let it end like this. You rip the metal door off the oven, tearing through the wood logs of the cabin. Screaming, you chase the two through the woods. One of them looks behind her, eyes widening when she sees you. She's terrified. You've never been this angry in your entire life. You're gaining on them. They can't run forever. As you trample through a field of wheat, the guest throws a piece of cloth behind her. You catch the glint of it in the sun, golden. As if by magic, the earth splits in front of you, creating a chasm of fire below. You fall downward, screaming as your eyes begin to sizzle from the heat. Hellfire fills your lungs. You're unable to scream anymore. You wake in a cold sweat. Good morning. Do you think she made it to higher ground? I believe in Mariah. Me too. She'll be fine. Right, little guy? So what do we do now? Just wait? Karen. How long? It's been almost a day since she left. Natalie and Grigor looked nervous. Someone needs to go look for her. We need to wait, Karen. Wait for what? The nearest town is miles and miles away. Waiting is all we can do for now. So it could be days before she gets back? What are we supposed to eat? Mice?
Karen. I'm sure Natalie will agree, but we'll discuss next options when we get to it. I never should have eaten that much.
Karen's hands are involuntarily shaking. Grigor and Natalie just nod in agreement. They don't even need her to elaborate. I'm sure Mariah will make it back. She promised. Everyone retreats to a corner. What do you want to do today? We'll just go to the kitchen, I guess. So you go to Natalie. Hey, the kitchen definitely doesn't feel the same without Mariah. Her laugh, her smile. Whenever I tell her how I felt about her. She'll be back, right? You nod. Yeah. I wish we had rationed better. He decided to distract them not to leave with an old story. There was once a villager who had to stock up supplies for the winter. He filled his house with a cow, a sack of grains from the field, and 92 buckets of water, mostly for the cow. He ran out of room quickly. One day the villager grew sick. He knew he needed the life-giving milk from the cow to survive the winter. When he attempted to milk the cow, his grip was too weak under her to grasp her others. In desperation, he began to boil the grains. The cow cried out for food, but the villager could only afford to feed himself. Each night, the cries of the cow kept him awake, until one day he finally ran out of food. The villager crawled into bed for the last time, sobbing as the snow deepened outside. The cow's sad eyes stared back at him. He wanted to comfort the cow, but the buckets blocked his path. He was too weak, too sick. The final noise he heard was the cow still crying out for food. One haunting note to end his life. And Natalie looks horrified with your story. The chompets can wait. You're leaving Natalie to his thoughts. I can't stop thinking about that vegetable stew. I'd be fine with bread and jam. I'd be fine with just the strawberries. Nobody else laughs. I would kill for some vegetables right about now. You would too. I'm gonna try to get some sleep. Good night. Night. You fall asleep quickly. You only dream about desecrating a corpse. You wake in a cold sweat. In a completely different room. Why are we here? Well, whatever it is, I'll call it good there. Thank you for watching. I am like, have I just doomed everyone by just going all out from the start and like not going to chompets that first day? I don't know. Thank you for watching though. Thank you, Serenity Forge, for the code. If you enjoyed the video, consider tossing a like, comment, subscribe. Maybe click the bell for notifications. Also, be sure to check out the description below. Various links, social media, Discord, come hang out. Notifications there as well. And until next time, this is rinimt signing out. Bye!